This is the question almost nobody wants to face. Are you following Jesus or are you following Paul? Because the way Christianity is practiced today does not match what Jesus taught. It matches Paul. Now, let's slow down and look at the facts. Paul did not walk with Jesus. Paul did not learn from Jesus. Paul did not sit at his feet or hear his teachings in person. Paul himself tells us how he entered Christianity. He says, "I did not receive it from any man, nor was I taught it. Rather, I received it by revelation." Galatians 1-12, Paul's authority comes from a vision. Jesus' disciples' authority comes from walking with him every single day. Jesus says to his disciples, "I have made known to you everything I heard from my Father." John 15:15. So ask yourself, who learned directly from Jesus? Now listen to what Jesus actually taught. Jesus said, "If you want to enter life, keep the commandments." Matthew 19:17, Jesus said, "Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand." Matthew 4:17, Jesus said, "Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and do not do what I say?" Luke 6:46, Jesus said, "If anyone wants to follow me, let him deny himself, take up his cross daily, and follow me." Luke 9:23, Jesus said, "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father." Matthew 7:21, Jesus focused on the heart and the correction of action. He said, "Out of the heart come evil thoughts, murder, adultery, sexual immorality, theft, false testimony, slander. These defile a person." Matthew 15:19-20, Jesus never taught passive belief. He taught transformation. Now listen to Paul. Paul says, "A person is justified by faith apart from works of the law." Romans 3:28, Paul says, "You are not under law, but under grace." Romans 6:14, Paul says, "If righteousness could be gained through the law, Christ died for nothing." Galatians 2:21, do you see the shift? Jesus says, correct yourself, obey the Father, change your heart, live it. Paul says, not by works, not by obedience, grace alone. And here's the part most people never hear. Paul openly disagreed with the disciples. Paul says, "I opposed Peter to his face because he stood condemned." Galatians 2:11, James, the brother of Jesus, says, "Faith without works is dead." James 2:26, that directly contradicts how Paul is interpreted today. So again, the question stands. Who do you trust to teach you about Jesus? The men who lived with him, heard him, walked with him, and were taught by him? Or a man who came later through a vision and argued with his disciples? Jesus pointed everyone to the Father. Paul shifted the focus away from the Father. Jesus said, "My teaching is not my own. It comes from the one who sent me." John 7:16, Paul made his teaching central. You cannot follow two opposite directions and pretend they lead to the same place. So be honest. Are you following the teachings of Jesus or the theology built after him? Because one leads you to the Father, and one leads you somewhere else.